What's up, Canes fans? Here we are with another edition of the Canes Unit. We got my boys here, One Concrete from the 1K show. Go follow him, and also my other boy Caned Up from his show, the Miami Flow Show. Go follow him. I'm going to leave their links down in the description box. And of course, you got me, John, representing the Canes blog. And this is our weekly show. We're going to be doing it throughout the off season because we know how boring the off season is. So we're going to keep you entertained, keep that appetite for Canes football whetted until the fall. So first things first, there's a question I want to ask you guys because it's been on my mind since the schedule came out, and since we had all these hires lately. The last thing I want, this is kind of my fear, is that God forbid we get a couple of key injuries or we stumble out of the gate a little bit and maybe the record doesn't look as nice, but you got the coaches you want right now. I'm afraid that maybe we go 8-4 or something, and because of fan pressure, they end up blowing the whole thing up. Should Manny, maybe free pass is not the right word, but should Manny get a little bit of leniency year one of having this staff together? We'll start with you, Kane. What do you think?
No,
I
don't. No, because I think that all the pieces are in place now, so, and he's completely said, as you guys heard in his press conference, that he's running defense. He's taking control and full responsibility. For God's sake, they even hired a high-level analyst now. There's no more excuses. I don't want to hear anything anymore. I gave him a little bit of a pass this year because of the COVID situation. Even though 8-3 is respectable, it was how we lost when we lost that was pissing me off.
Yeah.
So I expect him to win a minimum of 9 games. 9 games, I would be like, all right, you did what you're supposed to. That's a baby step. Anything else would be great because I think that the pieces are there, to be honest. I think the coaching staff is there. I think that there's experience on the team. There's depth on the team. The schedule sets up nice for us, overall, I think. So I'm not giving him a pass. If we have anything less under 9 wins, it's gonna be a disappointing season for me.
Yeah, I mean, if we go 8-4, you know what I'm saying? I guess it depends how we go 8-4. I'm saying if we just stink it up and go 8-4, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, whoa, hold up, take a step back. All right, man, this is, you know what I'm saying, we've been expecting improvement from the previous years. But if we go 8-4 and injuries happen, or you know what I'm saying, the referees blow some games for us, we don't know how COVID's going to turn out. Pretty much, we don't know how COVID's going to turn out. We don't know who's going to be available, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If that's going to be the case, whatever. So if we go 8-4 and it's damn, man, it's just unforeseen circumstances that happen. Okay, I'll give them a pass. But if we go 8-4 and it's just another year of being a Miami Hurricane fan, another dark cloud of being a Miami Hurricane fan, I don't think we pull the trigger on him so quick. I think that'd be when he's really on the hot seat, really, because people saying he was on the hot seat this year, especially from the ways that we lost the games last year. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's on the hot seat this year right now. You know what I'm saying? But if we do go 8-4 next year and it's a solid 8-4, I'm saying no excuses, no nothing, then I'll put him on a hot seat, but I'll give it one more year after that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Caned Up, in the sense that, that you have all these veterans and you have all the pieces in place to have at least a 10-win season, and there's no reason we shouldn't. But we all know how a season can be unpredictable with, again, God forbid, injuries and things like that. So I guess if it's 8-4, 9-3, we'll have to see what kind of 8-4, 9-3 are we talking about. Were we really competitive? Were we getting embarrassed in those 3 losses? Like last year, what was happening? So it shouldn't just be tied to the record solely, is what I'm saying. We got to see other things.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty much saying.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be on the record. Are we showing up for the big games, even though maybe we don't win a couple of them? Are we showing up? Things like that. So I just hope they keep this staff together for the next couple of years, because we all know how, Dabo, it took him 7 or 8 years to build what he has. Butch, it took him Butch sucked for 5 years until finally year 6 in 2000, it blew up. So like, I'm just a little afraid of the impatient fan base, especially in today's like instant gratification era. But anyway, that was just my thought on that. But yeah, we got spring coming up soon. I believe the date was March 13th, correct?
Yeah.
I think so.
That spring was starting. Yeah, man. If I think that's going to be huge. Like if we get an uninterrupted spring, uninterrupted summer, that's obviously going to be huge for the development of this team. Not so much for like a Bama that's already established. They already got like a machine in place. But for a team like Miami that's up and coming, you can't interrupt that. You desperately need that. Anyway, that was just my thought on that. But anyway, like I said the other day, the schedule came out. I started giving a little bit of my take on the first few games, you know, what I think is going to happen week to week. Let me ask you guys, besides the Bama game, obviously, does any game on that schedule, and obviously UNC is the biggest one, but does any other team like kind of scare you a little bit, like a Vatech or a Georgia Tech? They're developing that young talent. Does any game stick out as like a possible this could be a trap game?
For me, go ahead, Concrete.
All right. You said outside of UNC, whatever.
The two obvious ones, UNC and Bama, obviously are the two biggest games.
Yeah. I say I say Virginia. That could be a possible trap game. I'm saying because we'll at the Bama we'll go to Appalachia State. I'm not saying no these games are guaranteed to win. You know what I'm saying you gotta respect the opponent as is, even the what's that CCSU Blue Devils or something. Out.
Central Connecticut.
Wow.
Something like that.
Yeah. We gotta respect them still. All right, we could go back to 2019. We kind of Central Michigan, albeit the offense was trash. I'm saying, but we still gotta respect the opponent. I'm saying, but I think Virginia will be. I think that'd be a possible trap game. All right, coming off a possible 3-game win streak. You know what I'm saying, and then we got a NC State. That's another possible one. I'm saying after North Carolina. I'm saying we could blow it against North Carolina and then just shit the proof from there on out. You know what I'm saying? They could be going back to the old dark cloud Miami days. I'm saying lose a game and lose 5 straight. You know what I'm saying? So NC State could be a possible trap game.
I would say NC State for sure because of what they have returning. A lot of people don't realize they still won 8 games last year. And they did that with their backup quarterback most of the year. Leary is their big dog quarterback, and he's going to be healthy this year. And he could throw it. He could spin it. So, and we barely beat them by 3 points. I think it was 44-41 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They got a lot of players coming back. They got their quarterback, their star quarterback coming. It is after UNC. I think that's a possible trap game. And I wouldn't even say trap game. I mean, we're going to take them serious because how close it was. I just think that they could cause us problems. You know, they're that team that not flashy, not, oh my God, you don't think highly of them, but go look at their records and go look how they compete. They're in a lot of games, So for me, it'd be NC State. And if I had to give you a dark horse, I'm terrified of Georgia Tech.
That's mine.
There you go.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. I wouldn't say I'm terrified of them, but they're on the upswing. I think they're due for like a 3-4 win improvement.
Yep.
Like they're due for a nice jump this year. Really like their quarterback, even though I know he threw a ton of interceptions. But man, the times I watched him, he looks good. That's a talented QB. He can run, he can throw, which I mean, we make third string quarterbacks sometimes look like Heisman winners. So that guy scares me a little bit. But I believe, is it at home? You know what? Off the top of my head, I don't know if it's at home or on the road.
GT?
Yeah. That's at home.
It's at home? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about them just because they still got some triple option guys on the roster too. And I think we need a full cycle to finally get it going.
To implement that system. Yeah.
Yeah. What you guys think about Michigan State?
Michigan State does not scare me as much as some people. I know Mel Tucker's a good coach, and I think it's going to be one of those scrappy opponents. They're going to come ready to play. It's going to be physical, obviously. They're going to play that Big Ten style, but it's going to be here. We're not going to take them lightly, I don't think. I think it's going to, we're after playing Appalachian State the week before, which I think will be a tune-up game. Some people are nervous about that one. I think we're going to dominate that game, to be honest. It'll be a nice tune-up for Michigan State. I think we're going to be in rhythm, and I think we're going to be ready to play them. So I'm not too concerned about Michigan State, to be honest with you.
I'm not worried about Michigan State too much because I don't think they can match up with us from a skill set standpoint. If they want to slow the game down and they can actually establish the run, the game could get very interesting, I think.
Yeah. That's gonna be key for the whole season. Can we stop the run?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's always the key going in, right? But there's some teams that you're gonna just have to pick your poison. With you can't go against UNC and say, all right, we're gonna do everything we can to stop the run because they can throw it. You're gonna have to scheme out. I think I'm just telling you my opinion. I think with Michigan State, you're not scared if they throw the ball. It's like Virginia. You're gonna do everything you can to stop the run. You're not scared if they can throw the ball at the end of the day. So I think Michigan State is that squad where if they can establish the run, they can be and make that game go faster.
Mm-hmm.
That clock running and keep our offense off the field and have us kick some field goals and maybe they get some touchdowns. I see it get a little interesting. I'm not worried about that game, honestly, but I can see it being interesting if they can run the ball on us a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be competitive, I think, at least in the first half. But like you said, not too concerned about that one. NC State, honestly, I'm probably not as concerned as you guys are, even though they are bringing a lot of veterans back. It's at home. And we're going to have a much improved defense, hopefully. So I think if we just stop them a few times, we didn't stop them at all this year. I think we'll be fine. And honestly, I'm looking at the schedule. It's once again, I mean, it happens every year. We are the most talented team in every single game besides Bama.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah, we're the more talented. We're the more talented team, hands down. So
I agree with that statement. I mean, I don't think that's been, like you said, I don't think that's been, I still think in the ACC, it's been that way. I just think the difference is we don't have the excuses to lean on, we don't have the coaching staff anymore to develop, or they're not going to be prepared. I stated on that show last night, on Paul's show, I think the most underrated hire is Bob Shoop. I'm hyped for T. Will. I'm hyped for T. Rob and Simpson. Don't get me wrong. And Van Dyke, I'm hyped. I'm so ready. But I think where the big difference that we're not going to see with our eyes is going to be a guy like that with that resume, that caliber, right? To be able to scheme ahead and look at tape ahead for us and also help us make adjustments quicker. Which, to be honest, if T. Will is who he is, T. Rob and Simpson and Van Dyke learned under T. Rob, that's the difference, dude. Because, Manny's going to call that defense aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is just massive hire that Miami went out and shelled out that money to get that type of analyst.
Yeah. And it's almost like, I don't know if you agree, like this is kind of from hearing the press conferences and everything, this is kind of the feeling I'm getting. He brought in Shoop. He, gave Coach Stroud kind of an off the field role. Those two guys are going to be kind of Manny's brains behind the scenes, like almost like assistant head coaches in a way.
Yep.
To take away some of those head coaching duties behind the scenes so that he can call the defense, which is the only way I really see that working. Because honestly, if you're running a program and calling one side of the ball, it's very tough. That's why I felt a little iffy about it when he first said it. But he brought Shoop in. I'm like, oh, okay. He's putting pieces in place. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and Todd Stroud, he said he's gonna like when Manny's not able to coach or be a head coach, he said Todd Stroud's gonna fill in for that.
Right.
I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, I heard something like that.
Pretty big. Yeah, you need eyes everywhere, man. The more eyes you got, the more mistakes you can correct. You know what I'm saying? I know we talked about depth with players, but depth in the coaching staff, that definitely helps too.
Absolutely.
nobody really thought of an analyst like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like when do we ever think of having an analyst? You know what I'm saying? And then we see Bama's hiring people like Charlie Strongs and Steve Sarkisian as analysts. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it takes to win, man.
That's right.
And Manny's a very detail-oriented guy. So
Yeah, last year, we hired basically 3 coordinators as assistant coaches on offense. And I remember some people bashing it at first, like, oh, that's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, nah, it seems like the trend in college football is the more cooks, the better.
right.
You know?
I just think the quality, the quality is just different, man. It's a different. I think we have the right attitude in the building. At least it sounds like that, right? We got to see it, but it sounds like we have the right attitude at almost all spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Manny's going to hire a guy if he thinks he's going to step on Rhett Lashley's toes or something, or somebody's going to step on his toes. Like, man, he kind of he knows what he's doing, and listen to T-Rod. Like, Manny has T-Rod's respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure if you got T-Rod respect, you got T-Will respect. And then Jess Simpson. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand why people think too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You got Rob Likens, whatever. He was a former OC. You know what I'm saying? Garen Justice, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to win at the end of the day. You know I'm saying? There ain't no, in order to win, you gotta follow suit.
Yeah. No, and I think he's got the right guys in place to continue building that culture. I think it started getting established this year, and it's going to continue building.
Great.
But that's got to trickle down into the players.
Yep.
And that leads me to the next topic I want to go over, which is recruiting. Last night, we all watched, Caned Up, you were on it. We were watching, the Paul Scoop show that everybody was on. And my favorite topic you guys were talking about was getting that Miami dog on this team. Not just the guys with the stars next to their names, which, I mean, a lot of those Miami dogs have 4 or 5 stars next to their names, but some of them have 3 stars. But, back in the day, we just knew how to find them. So
I think that, as you guys saw, and I'm sure everyone's thinking this, what we said, to be honest, why recruit in South Florida if you don't have those type of coaches to coach those kids? It's a different mentality. So again, going back to the previous thing we were talking about, I just think the staff quality has been raised, and it's the right type of staff for this type of kids. And our last 2 classes are going to show out with this with this coaching staff. And if we can stack one more, then we'll immediately start seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah. I thought a crazy stat, man. I heard as far as recruiting, how important recruiting is. I think every team since the college football playoffs, except for Texas, USC, and Florida State, every team that's been in the top 2 in recruiting has won a college football playoff game. Since 2000, when did it start? Since 2014.
14, yeah, that was the first 2014 season. So 2015 January.
Yeah. So every team that's been in the top 2 in recruiting has won a college football playoff game, except for Texas, USC, and FSU.
You said in the top 10?
The top 2.
Oh, top 2. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I believe it, man, because usually one of those 2 is Bama, and they're always in it.
Yeah, Bama's like been at one point it was like Bama and Georgia like flip-flopping. I'm saying Ohio State got in there, Clemson got in there.
Yeah, man, but I mean, I think that is definitely a stat that's very probable, clearly. But Georgia can't even get to the playoffs. I mean,
they've been one time, right? Yeah. 2017.
I think of one time.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of my head, correct me if I'm wrong, I only think of one time, and they didn't win it.
Yeah.
I just think they have a roster like Bama. Like they recruit like Bama, and they get 3 losses, 2 losses, 4 losses. Like, I mean, we always make fun of Georgia because of that, right? But my point is, obviously college football is a recruiting game. I'm not trying to downplay that. but I don't think it's only a recruiting game. I think it starts at recruiting, and then you got to have the right, right system, right things in place, because that's a perfect example that comes to the top of my head. I know Georgia, it just kills it on 4 and 5 stars like every cycle.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like Bama because they kind of play like a pro style like Bama too, but I think they're kind of lost in time. I don't think they have the personnel for that.
I think people are going to start to realize in Georgia how awesome Mark Richt was when he was there. And they're going to start to miss him a little bit.
I was thinking that like last week. I'm like, yo, it was kind of shitting on my boy Mark Richt, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Mark Richt effect is starting to trickle away.
Yeah. They went to the championship game in 2017 with mainly his players.
Yeah, mainly his players, because I was Smart's second year. So I don't think he was doing it with a bunch of freshmen.
Maybe his second, yeah, something like that. He had just gotten there.
Yeah, I think his first year went like 8-5, and then second year they just snapped.
Yeah, man. So in the upcoming class, there's a couple guys. Like I'll be honest, I'm just kind of starting to look at the class now because the previous cycle just ended. Signing day just happened, even though to me that's not really signing day anymore. Signing day's in December. Who out there? I mean, obviously a big one is Shamar Stewart. That's one that, I mean, hands down, I want. And you know what? This coaching staff has me believing that we can get him. Like, I'm just as excited about this recruiting season as I am about the season itself, to see who we can land that we don't usually land. And I saw a stat that was floating around social media that said in the Florida top 25 last year, Miami got what, like 4 of them? Like 4, something like that, like 4 or 5. I was like, okay, that's pretty solid. Alabama got 7. I'm like, damn.
Alabama's like, we just need a couple, and we'll take a couple, and then you guys could.
Yeah. We'll cherry pick the future Pro Bowlers, and you have the rest. But yeah, besides that obvious one, Shamar Stewart, who's out there that a big name that you think, man, in past years we wouldn't have gotten him, but this year we have a chance? Anybody popping in your head?
Who's buddy from is that buddy from Mississippi? This the cornerback. I forgot his name, man.
Oh. Yeah, see, we're all rusty on this new class.
I think I'll give you a name that I think Kamari for sure. And I really like, again, Marvin Jones to me is the best player in Florida, and he's not on a lot of people's radar to be the best player in Florida. They got him like top 5, top 6. I think we have a realistic shot of competing to land him because of the staff we have in place. And he's another LT, he's another James Williams, he's another Cameron Kitchens. When I say he's a program changer, that kind of recruit is he just comes in and erases that position. I know a lot of people. There's other names that are popular out there. I mean, I could name 4 or 5 just like you guys could, but for me, I heard Larry Bluespan. I can't speak English. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Blue.
Yeah, Blue. He's like the recruiting guru. If you know anything about recruiting, that guy knows more than everybody times 2. And he said that'll be the best player coming out of Florida, hands down. He's that good, and people just they're sleeping on him. So I think, and I went back and watched this tape, and my goodness, this dude can do it all, man. I mean, he can do it all. And I think that's a guy that normally in the last 2 years we've been missing on, and coming in 3rd or 2nd, that we have a shot. We actually would be a shock to get him. Yes, it'd be a shock because we haven't been landing so many of those guys. But I think we're more in it than normal.
I would agree. Yeah, and I think he's up flying under the radar right now because people look at that 4-star rating. But yeah, he's a guy that's going to be a top 10, top 5 guy. Like, I've heard amazing things about him. I would agree with you. When you say Kamari, you mean Kamari Rogers or Kamari Wilson?
Yeah, I like both, but I think we have more of a shot with Kamari. I mean, I feel really, really good about Kamari Rogers. I'll just say that. I feel really good.
Me too.
That's what I was talking about. Buddy from Mississippi, Kamari Rogers.
Kamari Rock. Yeah. No, I couldn't think of his name, but then you said Kamari. I remembered. But
It's Earl Little Jr. That's a
Earl Little Jr. is another one everyone's excited about. Yeah, man. And question.
Earl's gonna be tough, guys. I'm just telling you.
like
Earl's gonna be tough.
That's in LSU, so I don't.
Look. A lot of things can change. It's recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could change in 2 seconds. That's a tough one right now.
I just feel so good about the staff right now, man. Where I feel confident.
But you know what's crazy, Concrete? I agree with you. We're getting 3 or 4 high level corners in this class, no matter what. It might not be him. He might not be one of them. But I would be very surprised if we don't get 3 or 4 corners minimum, all 4 stars and higher.
Mm-hmm. And no transfer portal guys, straight high school, so they can start building that depth. It's not just a one and done guy.
Yeah.
And I also think the linebacker side too, guys. I mean, you guys already heard, what T. Will did once he got on. But the thing that he brings, and I know it's been discussed, I just think you really got to take a minute to think about it. It's not just that he's a good recruiter and that he was at Auburn and he's already been talking to some guys. It's the areas that he is able to recruit in. Yeah, he's going to be able to recruit Miami just he's from here or whatever. But he can touch places that we weren't able to touch, like Alabama, like Georgia, like Mississippi, like Louisiana, he's got guys. Go ahead, man.
I will say that Georgia area is going to be, we got an advantage now because him and Jess Simpson.
We got a big advantage there now. Look out. I think we're going to get some players out of that area.
But to talk about recruiting, man, T. Rob, he said something very interesting, man. He said when he first came in, a lot of people thought that he was going to hop on the recruits, but he's like, the first thing he did was get on the current players. Like he called their family members and like, hey, trying to get next with them. Like I'm saying, these are the guys that we got. I want to know them first. So that was a pretty interesting take that he said.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how good of a developer he is. T-Rob. Like that's, we've had guys come in and out that are recruits that are good recruiters, but who can you mold that talent?
Yeah, I think T. Will. Yeah, I think T. Will, man, he's going to do some things in the development. I think Auburn, they had a preseason guy that went out. He only played like 2 games, and then 2 guys stepped up. One guy had 100 tackles. The other guy had like 90 plus tackles, man. And I'm saying,
what's interesting that I've been hearing a lot, and I love to hear this because you can tell it's not politics when they're saying this. All the coaches have been talking, and this is strange to say because we're not in there, but it's too much of a trend for there not to be something there. That the type of person Manny is, they wanted to work with Manny. T. Rob said it. T. Will said it. Simpson was like, I'm so happy to be back with Manny. Like they always mention that it was like, it's the type of person he is. Now, I know because I go through roller coasters with Manny. I want to kill him, and then I want to hug and kiss him on the cheek. Like I go through the whole relationship with him, right? But so I have a question for you guys, if you don't mind, John. I know this is your show.
No.
What Manny are we going to see on the sideline this year? Now that he's back on the defense, are we going to see the calm, chill?
I think we're going to see some chest bumping again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's coming back. I hope so.
I mean, it's the reason the fans were excited he got hired as the head coach. Is I thought, hey, if anything, he's bringing energy.
I think that Manny has no choice to come just from the guys around him. T. Will, T. Rod, a bunch of young guys around him, man. Like he's going to feed off of their energy. You know what I'm saying, and vice versa. So, you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell people, man, just be patient. My boy, I think I became a big fan of his in 2018. You know what I'm saying? I think he had like this long press conference just going off on the offense. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he said the offense directly, but I was like, I was like, damn, it's gonna suck when this guy leaves, man. And then he ended up getting a job from Temple.
Yeah, he said something in his press conference that I just think, I don't know, man. I'm trying not to drink the Kool-Aid, right? I can't help it. But he keeps drawing me in. He says, I'm calling other head coaches to see what are the pros and cons of me being able to be the head coach and also being the DC. That because I've never done it, so I like the fact that he doesn't have that ego. He says it. Yeah, I'm calling for help. I'm making phone calls. I'm trying to get info. You know, that's big, bro.
Yeah, I was listening to the Jimmy Johnson podcast on Behind the U. The guy was talking. He was like, "Yeah, Manny brought all his guys over, and Manny had to look at him like, Coach, I'm not on my phone. I'm just taking down everything you're saying right now. I'm just taking down all the notes, man, because." So you gotta see, Manny, he's still a young guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds bad, he's learning on the job, but you know what I'm saying he knows what he has to do to learn on the job. And as an ESPN guy, you know what I'm saying whatever he did behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure that was a very detail-oriented position. And so man, I think he's gonna be the guy, man. I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid. Man.
No, there's a certain guy that I'm not gonna name, but hopefully he's watching this show and he knows what I'm talking about. He always leaves a comment in my videos, right? And it's always coming. He's coming for me. He's coming for Manny. He's coming for the program. I mean, he comes hard, like, and he thinks that like we haven't played football, and he thinks that we don't know football, that we're just talking out of our butts, right? I enjoy it because I like that kind of interaction with people that watch us. Mm-hmm. But if he's watching this, he knows who he is. I just want to ask him this because I was gonna say next time he comments on my video, I'm gonna ask him this. So I'll say it on your show. Okay. What would you do different since Manny got the job? He did all the right moves, in my opinion. He hired a good staff, so he thought. It didn't work. See you later. Brought in another staff. That worked. Oh, there's problems on the defense. His boys coincidentally get promoted. We have a whole new defensive staff. He takes back over the DC job, which is why he got a head job, because he was a good DC, right? And he brings over an analyst. You know, he is asking for help from other head coaches. It's the same things any of the great coaches would have had to have done when they first got their first head coaching job. So what else do you want from the guy? Like, of course, we're Kane fans. I want a ring right now, but that's impossible. It doesn't work that way. And you know who you are if you're watching the show right now. What would you have done different? Like, what would you have done different? He's hired really good staff now. Yeah. Every mistake he's made, or mistake or hole that he saw in the team, he's corrected.
He tried to fill the transfer portal. Can't get. It is what it is. Filled in those empty holes with the transfer portal, man. You know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So people out transfer portal. I'm like, but you gotta. The transfer portal is part of recruiting now. You know what I'm saying, it's part of college football. So I don't really get mad when people or when we go to the transfer portal. You know what I'm saying, we just gotta utilize it to the best of our ability. Mm-hmm. And like you said, man, like the respect that Manny gets, man, like Bob Shoop as an analyst. You know what I'm saying? This guy was at Mississippi State, gave up what was that? I know I wrote it, man. Gave up 12 total touchdowns.
No, 12 points a game.
12 points a game. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
In the SEC, bro.
Defensive coach of the year, and he didn't get defensive coach of the year at Mississippi State for some reason. I don't understand that, but he got it.
I think he won the Bros Award, right?
I think he was like a finalist.
Oh, finalist. He and Manny both were finalists that year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
nice.
So that was, you know what I'm saying, Penn State defensive coach of the year. He brings him in as an analyst. You know what I'm saying, guys like T-Raw, guys we didn't think that was like a fantasy drop. Like T-Raw, that'd be great, man. Like that'd be awesome. He pulls him in. T-Rob says how much respect he has for Manny. You know what I'm saying? Guy like T-Will, Auburn guy, SEC guy. You know what I'm saying? The guy that pulls in hella 4-star recruits, pulled in the 5-star, has respect for Manny. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
No, you're right. I want to give you guys a little quick memory blast. Ready? Do you remember how we were feeling like 3 weeks ago? I wanted to kill him because I was like, I can't believe Baker's still on the staff. I was like, Manny, what are you doing? Like, You did
Yeah.
everything except the one problem.
But I knew that
Outright.
I knew that he tried just from like the MOs you was giving us.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it work, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
He
Something
just didn't want to fire him. I guess that's what it was. Hey, whatever. Fired. He got promoted. He's not there.
yeah,
So
he
Manny
said
made it
fire.
good.
He basically fired him without firing him, like, which is
Pretty much.
like, he looks like a genius chess player now.
Yes, sir.
That
His
plus,
wife is happy. He's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy now.
yeah, and look, we don't know what was said behind the scenes between them. They might have had a little agreement like, hey, start looking for a new position now.
Yeah.
I'm going to start putting things in motion, try to find another spot. Like, you never know what was said in that meeting.
You know what I found out, John, and I don't know if you knew this. For me, it was new information. I didn't know we were still paying Enos $1 million this year, and if we would have fired Blake, we would have to pay him $700,000. So that would have been 1.7 on just staff that's not even here. So
Yeah.
I think looking back after getting that information, Manny was like, look, they're not going to renew your contract. If anywhere gives you a 2-year contract, go take it. And then LSU gave him a 2-year contract, $500 and $550 this next year, right? So plus he's, get out because everybody's hot. And I think that money has something to do with it only because now they don't have to pay him the $700,000, right? Plus they didn't want that $700,000 plus that $1 million that's already on there with Enos.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, I think if a lot of fans would have known that, they would have been like, man, we can't fire this guy. That's too much on the books, bro. That's deep right there.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. At least networking open too, because it's like, I didn't fire you. I took care of you now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that's a little get back. Even when he got rid of Enos, like I don't think any when they first showed on ESPN, it never said Dan Enos was fired. Like it said Miami and Dan Enos decided to part ways.
Yeah, but he's fired because we owe him $1 million.
Yeah. But I'm saying at the end of the day, it doesn't make Enos look as bad as I'm saying. If the
Come on, concrete.
Yeah.
He went from the OC of Miami to the running backs coach in Cincinnati. You got fired.
Hey, Blake went to the LB.
I think that's just ESPN wording it nicely.
Yeah, when I heard, I was like, "Oh man!" Like it sounded like they parted ways just because he was still coaching in the bowl game, and they announced it before the bowl game. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think we're not the only ones drinking the Kool-Aid, man. Look at all the coaches and the transfer portal players and the 5-star recruits that he's closed on coming to Miami after a 6-win season. Obviously, he's doing something right, and everybody loves him. Like, this isn't Al Golden we're talking about. This isn't he's operating on a different level. It just has not shown in the record yet.
He's very my brother likes him. My brother's a Florida State fan. He likes Manny. He's like, yeah.
How can you dislike him? It's probably like the way we used to like I never disliked Bobby Bowden. I really like Bobby Bowden.
Yeah.
They probably like Larry Coker when he was kicking their ass,
I think there's a difference, and I mean, I know you guys know this. There's a difference between liking someone and respecting someone. Like when Bobby Bowden was there, man, I could never like him because I despised the nose, right? But I had so much respect for that program because of him, right?
Yeah.
And what Manny's doing, I'm honestly starting to like Manny. I respect him because he's making the moves, right? I 100% respect him. But as far as liking him, me personally, he's giving me what I want for the program. Whether it's going to work or not, I have no idea. But he's giving me what I want, the type of coaches I want, the change of philosophy on offense. Miami's never been in spread. We've been trying to get him to go to spread for 20 years. Manny gives us the spread, right? And he gives us a spread with quality. Then, man, what the hell? We playing 70% zone? That's not Miami. And we recruit all these kids that play man all through high school. No problem. Here we go. I get T-Rob, T-Will, all aggressive guys. And I'll bring in the guy that had the best D-line stats in a long time, Simpson. And I'll take the defense over, and I'll just come with that aggressive mentality. Like, dude, talk about checking boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing everything. He's taking all the necessary steps to win.
Yeah.
And people forget, look, the guy's got, he might be young, but it's not like he just started coaching. He's been in the Power Five for a long time.
Yep.
Like the guy's got experience, man. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I've drank gallons of the Kool-Aids already the last 3 weeks. I went from questioning him, being on the fence, like you said, like why is Baker still here? So now it's like, oh my God, we got a dynasty in the making. And I don't know if you guys feel this way. He reminds me a little bit of Spo in a way because of like how he came up in the video room and all that. And now,
Yeah.
yeah,
The thing that I have, and you know, it's up to you guys if you guys want to take this that way, but Manny has a lot, and that administration has a lot to prove to the old school Canes. And I'm talking about the old school Canes players and fans, not just fans. There's a lot of there's not a lot of trust there. There's not a lot of loyalty there. And I think that is going to be the ultimate obstacle for him if he does win 9+ games this season. How does he win over that crowd? Because that'll be the tell if we're really moving in the right direction to try to go to the playoffs and maybe win a national championship in a couple of years, right? That'll be the real tell, in my opinion. Because those guys are, you know, the old school Canes and the old school fans, they're the hardest critics, man, because they've seen it, they lived it. You know, I'm more of balanced. You know, I know and I remember the Orange Bowl. I remember all that and talking to the old school Canes, and I get it. But I do know that it's a different era, and there's more parity. There's a lot more competition now for recruiting. There's a lot more. Social media has changed the game, right? But Manny is going in the right direction. I just hope to God that he can get to at least 9 wins this year, because I think that really sets us up really, really good for 2022. I mean, really good. Like, I've been on record and said, I think we're going in 2022 with these 2 classes that we just stacked up. If we develop them correctly, and now that I didn't even know all these seniors were going to come back. That just helps everything. You know, it gives us all the quarterbacks more time. It gives, like, it's just amazing how he got that tells you right there if they like Manny. They're not coming back if they don't like Manny.
that's another.
They're out of here. Deuces. Why am I with this guy? I don't trust this guy.
So they respect.
Yeah.
Like them.
So for me, yeah, man, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm like forcing myself to fight it, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because he's making the right moves.
Yeah.
You brought up a good point about the old school guys, because I remember after the UAB game, I follow Brett Romberg on Instagram, he's one of my all-time favorite Canes. I love Romberg. We were all kind of like, you know, that first UAB game was kind of sloppy. O-line, some people thought they looked good, some people didn't. It's like, oh, we ran for all these yards. It's like, listen, guys, be patient. It's the first game. Romberg went on Instagram Live. I don't know if you saw it. He just went off on the O-line. Like, damn.
Yeah.
The standard is high. But that was like the greatest O-line in Canes history. So,
yeah, I've had some conversations with some former Canes. They're not fans. They're not fans.
But is it so much they're not fans of the current team, the current Canes product, or just the current state, like how football's played today? It could be some of that.
The vibe I get is there's issues with them in the administration and so they look at Manny as part of the administration. You know, I'm not going to name names, but maybe we can get them on the show in the future, and you know, they can chop it up with us. But it's across the board
right now. Kind of.
It's across the board, though. I'm telling you, all the ones I talk to, it's like, it's almost like they all call each other and say, make sure you say this. Like it's pretty consistent across the board. And I'm talking, you know, 2001 and prior. I'm not talking after 2001. So I'm talking old, like the championship guys.
Yeah.
You know,
the 80s and the 90s kind of.
Yeah, I think Manny might be the first coach in a while that's actually trying to listen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, dude, I can't hate on him right now. I just can't. I can't find something to poke a hole on him because I think he's he's made the mistake and he's tried to rectify it. He's not like, oh no, I'm hard-headed. I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
I know
guess-
some people. Go ahead, man.
But I know just to go back to like you said, some of the old school Kings, they're a little hard on us right now. I guess what got me optimistic is listening to some of the GOATs like Ed Reed and Jimmy Johnson. You know what I'm saying they got a lot of faith in Manny right now. So you know what I'm saying that kind of makes me a lot more optimistic about it.
Oh,
yeah, I think, man, I don't want to. We have such a good vibe here. I don't know how Ed really feels at the end of the day. I think he's just trying to help the program. So by his presence being there, that's just a huge jump. And I keep telling everybody, and they laugh at me, we're not getting Avante Williams if Ed Reed's not on the staff. Everyone wanted to give that win to Banda. I'm not saying he didn't have a lot to do with it. I'm not saying that.
Sure he did.
But a lot of people forget Ed Reed coached Avante Williams in the either Under Armour or the Army, whatever it is, All-Star game.
Under Armour, yeah.
And before that game, we did not have Avante. He was going to Florida, and for sure. And coincidentally, we may have a chance at him. Like, come on, that was weird to me, And that's around the time we had hired Ed Reed.
Like 2 weeks before we hired him, something like that. I remember.
So that guy, man, what the difference he's making in the program just by being in the building. And who's the two guys that Ed Reed butted heads with?
Blake Baker?
And Banda.
And Baker. Ooh, that's right.
Weird.
And they happen to be coaching elsewhere.
Weird. I'm not, I don't know anything. I'm just saying, just awkward.
Hey, I love it. Hey, if Ed Reed could influence the program as much as he can, hey, I'm with it. So
people were talking about Ed Reed for DC. I don't know about that, but I think he's a future coach for sure. He's got the brain for it, but
yeah, one of the names that were coming up behind the scenes, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Michael Barrow for linebacker coach.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have mind that. Now, no disrespect to Michael Barrow. I like the T. Will hire better, because he's just more plugged in. Michael Barrow's been out for a couple years, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that, we were even considering him if that news was credible, because it's that same mental state, that same attitude. I know what it takes. And I'm not going to just tell you because I read books and I learned under this coach. I actually did it. I walked it. So listen to me. And that's different, man. You guys know when someone teaches you anything, which teacher is the one that read a bunch of books and which teacher's like, no, don't just do it like this. Just do this. Because I know that just do this. It's different. It's completely different.
Mm-hmm. He was part of that Bermuda Triangle, man, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, concrete. If you're playing linebacker, right, the difference between someone that's like a DN, D-line coach trying to help you with linebacker. He knows what you're supposed to do. He knows how to teach technique, but it's different than when you have a linebacker coach that play linebacker and go, look, I know this gap's going to open up.
This is what you're going to see.
Don't hit it so early because this is what's going to happen. And, you watch this guy shade off, because he's been there. It's different. It's just different. Go ahead, John. I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say he was part of that Bermuda Triangle with him, Armstead. And Darren Smith, right?
Yeah, there was another one there too, wasn't there? Who was
Michael Barrow, Jesse Armstead, Darren Smith, Ray Lewis? I think was a freshman on that team.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, don't get me started because I always mess up the timetables. You guys already know that. I'll mess it up.
Don't worry. Like 91 and 92, I think were the Bermuda Triangle years. In fact. I was a little kid when this happened, but this is one of my favorite stories. A good buddy of mine who's an aficionado of Canes football. He told me about that 91 Houston game when David Klingler, they had like a top 10 offense and they came down here and we beat them like 48-10 or something like that. And in the Orange Bowl. And they interviewed Klingler after the game. And he said, I knew I was in trouble when my number one receiver was being covered by a linebacker.
That's pretty funny, bro.
Like that's how much we dominated, bro. Like
that's the mentality.
And And it's still there in our backyard, which brings me back to the recruiting those dogs.
James
Yeah.
Williams.
It's that depth, though, man. That was the thing. If Michael Barrow ran off the field to take 3 or 4 plays off or a series off, the dude that was coming in was as good.
Was Ray Lewis.
Yeah, like, but that's my point. Like,
yeah,
Wholesome One the other day, shout out to Wholesome One. He said, and when I visualized this, I was like, wow, he's dead on this. He said, our 22 is really good, but our 44 needs work. Meaning like our starting 22, we can fight with almost anybody.
Yeah.
But that next 22, we're not there yet. And when I looked at it the way he said, I was like, man, that's deep. There's a lot there. There's a lot there because there's some spots that are coming up, like safety, is coming up a little bit. I would say our running back room, and we'll get to the transfer portal a little bit. Talk about that. Our offensive line's got some depth now. I think we're creating depth, and a wide receiver is going to have depth now. But
to the point, I'm a little scared for DN. I'm a little scared.
Exactly. Look at DN, right? Yeah. That would be. We don't know what's going on with the linebacker. We think we have depth, but
only thing that has me optimistic about it is just the coaches that's coming in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm thinking they're going to develop those young players. Like a guy like Avery Huff, I think T. Will is going to work with him. I'm saying, or any undersized guy. I'm saying I think he'll do well with him.
Yeah, who do you guys have breaking out? Which linebacker? You got Huff breaking out?
I got Huff breaking out.
Sorry.
Now that's my bad. Pause for a little bit. Just because Manny's been talking real good about him. I'm saying about his athleticism. I'm saying I think he's gonna have gonna be able to maximize his potential.
Yeah, I got Corey Flagg. I think he's got the mind for it. I saw it at brief times, like in the Pittsburgh game when there was a substitution at linebacker. McLeod was in. They took him out for Flagg. All of a sudden, these little short dump offs that they were completing for first downs. First read, he's not open. Oh, he's not open. Coverage sack. Next play. I gotta get rid of it. And it changed. Like a linebacker that knew where he was supposed to be just changed the game. So it was Corey Flagg both times. So I see him breaking out. He's got a little bit of weight to shed, they said, but I like him the best of all of them. He reminds me of like a thicker Sean Spence, just because he's smart and he just knows where to be.
Only reason I didn't say Flagg is because I felt like he maximized his potential as a freshman. He did all he could do as a freshman last year.
I just, with him, I think from an IQ standpoint, it's there. Anybody who can come in as a freshman and run the middle and run the mic, like you got to be smart. It's not just go chase the ball. What I worry with Corey Flagg, and I hope I'm wrong, is that he needs to get in the gym. Because of his stature, he needs to get stronger, man. He's just got to get stronger. I don't know if he's as athletic as Sean Spence was, to be honest. I think he's a little slower because Spence was a freak. He was
like naturally strong too, man.
Spence was just a freak.
His freshman year.
The guy, I know Sam Brooks really flashed in that bowl game, not last year, but the year before. And I know he was dinged up pretty much all season. This year he never was really healthy at all. And a lot of people don't know this, but he was a killer DN in high school, like one of the best DNs in high school.
I was about to get that. I was going to say, do you think he'd be better as an edge rusher?
Here's the problem. If you're going to make that move, you better have made it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Because we are getting depth at that position at DN. I think that DN position is going to increase just because of Simpson, to be honest with you. I mean, we have the transfer, and we got a couple of freaks that are there. Freaks. If they could just learn technique and learn leverage and learn how to, seal the outside. But if Simpson does what he's supposed to do, we, from an athletic standpoint, they're big, they're strong, they're huge. I saw a picture. This is a different position, but I saw a picture today of Elijah Roberts. Did anybody see that picture?
Nah.
Oh my God! Wait until you guys see how big this dude is right now.
I'm very excited about him.
He'll be at a 3, right?
He looks like a monster, like just a monster, like straight up. You guys are gonna flip out. When we get off, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to you guys. But really, the truth is I want Sam Brooks to be the guy because I think he has the instinct, but he might be out of position, right?
Yeah.
So the guy no one talks about is who? Austin Cade.
Right.
What's up with him? What's going on with him?
I think Sam Brooks, man, he's probably more of a 3-4 linebacker.
Yeah.
So I play the edge.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, right?
Yeah.
Unless they put, I mean, what can they do, Conquer? You played the position to get him to be more not as free. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the problem. He gets so free because he just used to chasing the, you know.
I know when I was in college, we at first ran the 3-3-5, and then we slowly moved to the 4-2-5, but we still call it 3-3-5, but we call it solid instead, whatever. And we walked the linebacker down, and he was kind of playing that edge rusher guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably in that defense, that's the best thing they can do with him.
I don't know, man. I like him. I like him a lot because I saw him when he filled in for, I think it was Shaq. Who did he fill in for in the bowl game? Somebody. Pigney, right?
Yeah.
He had 11 tackles.
Yeah. He flies around, man. It's just maybe responsibility. He doesn't really understand that. Even that Clemson game, like he had a little spark in that Clemson game. And so just from an athletic standpoint, I don't know about assignment standpoint, but
I'm gonna send y'all this picture real quick. Y'all gonna lose your mind.
I had a quick question too, man. Does T Will pull T2?
Man, y'all gonna get me in trouble, bro.
I like that answer.
I think I was listening to Through the Smoke with Andrew Ives, man. He said when he found out we got T Will, T2 was like, what?
I'll just tell you this. I think it will happen before T2's career without a shadow of a doubt. Like,
you think he finishes as a king?
I think he finishes as a king, unless
I'm coming home, mama.
Like there's a small, like something dramatic is gonna happen. That's the only way he stays where he's at. Like there's no way, because if T Will would have been on staff, I think that he already would have been a king. You know.
Yeah, man.
It's funny that T-Rob story too with James Williams. Or when he was trying to recruit James Williams at South Carolina, he wouldn't answer the phone calls.
Y'all check your phones. I sent y'all something.
Yeah, your boy.
Oh Jesus. Man. Is he a college football player? Or is he going to be like a Marvel hero? Like what?
Dude, Philly don't play.
Shout out to his mom, man. She's a real good lady, man.
Yeah, they're great.
Elijah,
yeah,
former Columbus explorer. So excited about him and his teammate Ryan.
Yeah, no, that's a big boy now. Huh? Yeah.
I remember it was question he was gonna play DN on the 3, so I guess he's going to the 3.
Yeah. D3 technique, D tackle.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, they could shuffle him around a little bit if they need to go with certain packages because he got good feet. But with that size, my goodness. He looks like Rousseau. Remember when we didn't see Rousseau for a while and then they showed a picture of Rousseau and he was just like.
Yeah, he was in that Captain America chamber for an entire offseason.
Well, also, Jalen Phillips came back like looking like a middle schooler. I'm saying,
you know,
the offseason program.
I'm happy that he's leaving and he's going to get drafted first or second round. I really am because he put in some work. Like you said, Concrete, he showed up looking like a basketball player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and he left looking like Hercules. You know what I mean? I'm happy for him. Like I'm glad that he said, I gave you all I got. I'm going to sit out now in the bowl game. Thank you, Miami. Y'all, whatever. I'm rooting for him. I think he did everything the correct way. I'm not salty that he didn't play in the bowl game at all. Yeah. I think he made the right move for himself.
Yeah, he's one of those guys in the bowl games. Like, go ahead and sit out, man. Just sit this one out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially after that Virginia Tech game. Like, yeah, he really earned my full respect after that game, man.
No, when I don't know if you saw the show on Paul last night. Q was talking, and Q said that if you watch tape on Phillips, if you watch him pass rush 5 times, he uses 5 different moves.
Yep.
He's so versatile.
Different move every time.
You know?
Yep.
I thought that was really interesting because usually guys that are that big and that athletic don't have a lot of moves. You know, they try to just win on just pure athletic ability. And I thought that was interesting, you know, that he would say that. Hey, Q was looking big too. You guys see?
He looked big, man.
Q was looking big too. I was like, my goodness.
I love when they asked him about, hey, DeAndre Johnson, what do you think of him? Is he strong in the weight room? He's like, he'll get there.
Weight room. He said that Tennessee weight room is not a Miami weight room. No, we got the weight room on lock.
Dude, no. Feely's for real. And like, I was thinking, we were talking last episode about Elijah Arroyo. Like, I'm really excited about him, but I was thinking, man, he might need a year to like bulk up a little bit. He might, maybe play special teams. No, he might be ready game 1.
Yeah, he kind of. I finally seen this highlight tape yesterday, and I'm like,
what'd you think?
I was like, yeah. I'm all right with Brevin leaving now. Okay, so I think we're good.
Dude, he's unreal.
He's special, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good word.
The slot too, just like Brevin. So he's gonna
great size. He's so fluid. He's so fluid. His tape is just fluid. He's making all kind of different catches. Bro, you put 20 pounds on that dude, it's over.
Get it too. Yeah, he enrolled early, didn't he?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna get, man. That's
great,
man.
Yeah, he's on. Dude, we're going 12 personnel, and he's gonna be. Him and Mallory are gonna be on. I don't see anybody taking. Like, I just don't see it. You can have 6'4", 6'5". You know. Oh, shout out! Now that we said that, there is God. What's his name? I can't remember the name. There's a big wide receiver in Orlando, 6'6", that Miami is. If they offer him, he's gonna be ours. I can't remember the name right now, but he's 6'6", out of Orlando. I saw somebody in the chat that I'm in posted, and I read on it, and wow, I'm gonna try to get you guys the name so you can see some video on him. I think he loves Miami, from what I'm hearing from the guys in the chat, and just giving you guys a heads up. When's the last time we had a 6'6" wide receiver? Because Cager was what, 6'4"?
AJ Osborne?
No, the guy that went to Georgia.
Cager.
Oh, Cager. Yeah. 6'5".
6'5". This guy's
4.5, 6'5". Yeah.
Yeah. This guy.
He's 2022.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll definitely get you. I'll shoot you guys it later when we get off.
There was another one. There's the one that you mentioned from Palmetto.
Woo! Mike Jack.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah. Fast. So we were talking.
Elite fast.
So imagine we were me and a couple of guys in the chat. We were talking. Imagine, ready? Mm-hmm. Keyshawn, that guy, the dude that's gonna play corner that plays wide receiver that's coming in.
Malik Curtis.
What'd you say?
Malik
Curtis.
Yes. Malik Curtis.
Yeah, Malik Curtis, and then Brashard.
Yeah.
Can you imagine those 4 on the field together?
Stupid speed. Stupid.
That would be crazy. That's a NASCAR package for real. Like those two, they would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, man. The speed that's coming in is nuts.
Is it Jaden Gibson?
Yep, that's him.
Okay, yeah, when the guard, yes, Orlando.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, he's already with my. Yeah, he says 100% crystal ball to Miami.
Oh, they already mentioned him to us?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see.
Man, look at that.
Crystal ball, yeah, 100%.
Wow. I did not know that.
And we made, I think this was today or yesterday, Julian Armella's top 7. That tackle from Columbus.
Oh, yeah, peep that.
I feel good about that. I really do.
That guy's a monster, bro.
I think Rodriguez is gonna have a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we keep Rodriguez happy, and do everything we said we're gonna do, I think that's the tie right there. And if anything, we can get John to give him a call because that's his old stomping ground. So John can just say, "Hey, look,
Go ahead.
Bro, get him on the
Play him a
show.
couple
Reach
times,
out
man.
to him.
Yeah, no, I will. I actually, a good friend of mine
There you go.
knows, their family. So
Sweet. There you go.
I'll reach out.
There you go. There you go.
That'd be cool. But yeah, man, looks like we're coming up on, I think we're a little over an hour. Anything you guys wanted to go over before we go?
I'll just say this. I don't think Miami's done in the transfer portal. That's what
I would agree. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to bring that up earlier. Because of the whole, we're kind of done for this class, but there's going to be a period in August right before the season starts that's technically for the next cycle, if I'm not mistaken. So we could grab somebody right before the season, but they wouldn't be eligible to play this year, would they?
I don't know, because the COVID thing. Apparently, there's like that free, everyone can transfer.
Right.
I'm a little foggy on what's going on because I've been hearing different things. Like some people are telling me that Miami can get a couple people in the transfer portal and just count them forward. And then somebody else is saying, no, there's a hard cap. You can't count anybody forward. So I'm not sure which one is, I honestly don't know, but I would be very surprised if you don't see maybe 2 more transfer portal pickups for Miami.
Linebacker?
I mean, linebacker would be great. We need linebacker.
Position,
but
yeah.
I feel really good at another position too. I think it'd be nice to get some depth at running back, So
yeah.
We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, you
never know with the transfer portal, man. The guys might want to think about coming to Miami and getting the transfer portal, and then another big school like Florida State say, you can come here and start. We don't got nobody. Right. Hey, you fall asleep, man. Florida State's got 8, I think it was 8 or 9 transfers.
Yeah, but they had like
they just redid that whole roster.
They had like 13 kids transfer out though, but
no, I agree. But good.
Yeah, he's making some moves. He's doing the right thing.
Yeah, man. Like that. I still think we beat them, but I don't know if it's gonna be a whooping.
It's not gonna be like last year. He's gonna get guys that's gonna follow his vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They got all kind of guys too. They got a back, they got a quarterback, they got a linebacker. I think they got an edge rusher. They're getting, and there's a lot of them. There wasn't 5 or 6, which still would have been a great number. I thought it was 8 or 9 guys that they already had landed in the transfer portal.
Yeah,
that's insane, bro. That's insane.
Man. I might do a video of Florida State just to get a fan base some.
Bro, they got a solid squad right now. Meaning, if they are being well coached, which we don't know, I think they're gonna be. It's still Florida State. We can hate on them all we want. That's still Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you're gonna get a veteran quarterback that's coming in, and even if he's at 90%, he's better than anything they had last year. That guy McKenzie Milton will sling that ball around all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Now
they beat UNC last year.
Yeah, but now where they're hurting at. I don't know if they got any help. That offensive line needed a lot of help.
Oh yeah, they needed help since.
And I don't think I heard of any transfer offensive line. I could be wrong, but I don't think I remember them getting any offensive line transfers. That O-line was terrible. But yeah, that's all I got. I think the transfer portal is still something that we may need to keep an eye on.
He said we got the whole offseason, man. The NCAA could change anything at any time, man. Like you said, it's a lot of kids in there.
They have to, bro. They just have to.
Yeah, it's not. It just doesn't seem realistic for them not to at this point.
Exactly.
I saw a crazy stat in California, man. High school football, man. It was there's 100-something players ineligible. 60-something of them joined games. 30 of them became new fathers.
What?
Another 30 dropped out of school. I was like, man. I was like, yeah,
because there was no football.
Yeah, there's no football, so kids just had a lot of free time to do whatever. And,
yeah.
I know when I was at high school, I'm like, the only reason I'm going to school is to play football. That was the only motivation, really. You know what I'm saying? And it got me through it. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? And how many elevators.
What I would like to see is 25 spots that have to be used for high school kids and give each school 5 additional spots for the transfer portal. And that's it. Yeah. Make it, you don't have to use the transfers and you don't have to use the high school, but you can't mix. You can't go, I only took 22 high school kids, so I'm gonna take 8 transfer portal guys. I think the only way you keep the high school kids as a priority, which you have to do, because here's what's happening. It's not about football. It's academics. These kids aren't getting a chance to go to college because they can't afford it. So now you're taking scholarships away because you're like, we'll just get 20, we'll just get 19, and I'll just use my last 6 for transfer portal. I think you have, it would be great if they just put the high school kids as a priority and still have that free agent market. I like the free agent. I like it because it helps you patch up some holes, you know? Yeah. So I think that would be kind of cool. 25 high school, and they have to be high school. And if you don't take enough, too bad. And then you only get 5 spots for the transfer portal.
Well, we'll see what the NCAA really about.
They ain't gonna listen to me. They don't care. Just flick on me.
They're like, do they really care about the kids?
Yeah, bro. They don't give a
If you haven't, there's before we sign off, there's a South Park episode that kind of makes fun of that, the whole student athlete thing. If I find it, I'll send it to you guys.
All right.
It's pretty hilarious.
Send it, bro. Send it. I need to laugh. I like laughs.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, guys, that's it for us. Once again, if you want to subscribe to Kane Dub's channel, Miami Full Football, go follow him. One Concrete Show. Again, I will put their links in my bio. And that's it for us. Again, it's the Canes unit signing off. Once again, as always, it's all about the U. Go Canes.
Good night, gentlemen.